Welcome to the Knitty Sisters podcast, a podcast about knitting, spinning, and fiber-related creations. We're your hosts,
Julie
and Judith.
You can find us on social media as Knitty Sisters on Instagram, at Knitty Sisters on YouTube, and you can email us at nuttyknittysisters@gmail.com.
If you're watching for the first time, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and thanks for returning. We'd appreciate it if you'd click the subscribe button below so you don't miss any broadcasts.
Click that bell, you'll be notified as soon as new videos are loaded.
Now, grab your knitting, find a comfy spot,
and let's get a little nutty.
Hello!
And once again, I've forgotten to put my earbuds in. So hold for a moment. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, that's better. Yes. Sorry. Okay.
Can you hear me okay, or should I get mine?
No, I think you're good.
Okay.
All right. So here we are again. Here we are already. Like,
yeah.
We just recorded 2 weeks ago. Look
at
us
us go, huh?
The new software is lovely. We have a few little hiccups and blurbs here and there, but for the most part, I think it's working out pretty good.
Yep.
And we're going to be able to get on here a little more often, which is nice.
Yes.
So if you are new, welcome. I'm Judith.
And I'm Jules.
And we are the Knitty Sisters. And we are here to share our love of all things fibery and fiber arts and get all kooky and crazy with our knits. And yeah, so thanks for joining us if you're new, and if you are a returning viewer, thanks for coming back time and time again. And all that stuff that the intro probably already did, and I'm going to do again because I love you all. So if you're new to the podcast, we have a little bit of a format that we do, and it starts out with life in general. So life in general, Jules, what is happening in your life in general?
Not a lot, because I am fighting the cold.
Yeah.
It's been a full week now, just over a week now, and just cannot shake the nasty hanging in there, sinusy. This is the kind of cold that just drives me crazy. I do not like having a sore, scratchy throat, and I do not like sinus troubles.
Mm-hmm.
And I got them both. Yay.
And just the constant irritating cough. Like,
yep, clearing my throat because it's just there.
Hangs.
Yeah. So plenty of tea going on constantly, whether it's tea, coffee, something. I just have to have something going constantly. And I'll tell you, this is cherry bomb tea from Mainly Tea right here in Winterport, Maine, and it is the bomb.
Yeah.
I love cherry, and that is delicious.
Yeah, it smells. Oh, we had such a good time. We should have taken some video or some pictures or something. We didn't.
Yes, we didn't. We'll have to go
had
back
a little.
again.
Oh, okay. Oh, darn. We had a little tea date, a little breakfast tea date, Julie and I, to Tea Mania, and got some lovely tea. I got my staples, my Formosa Oolong, my Earl Grey, and then I got a seasonal blend that they had. Well, usually I get like the seasonal, the Christmassy blend, but because Christmas had already gone by, I opted for a pina colada, which was yummy. And then I got a kettle corn, which was also really, really good.
Have you tried both of them now?
I have, yes.
Oh.
They're both amazing.
Awesome.
Sweet without sweetener, which is really nice.
Yeah. I generally don't sweeten my tea anyway, any kind of tea that I have, but yeah, when the herbal teas already have an essence of sweetness, that's just a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah. So other than being ill, what else is going on, Jules?
When work has started to ramp up the return to office. Yeehaw.
So expect more illness.
Yes, that's pretty much what I think is going to happen. But
Yep.
we have a very good manager, and we all really expressed our concerns for lots of things. I mean, I had been in the main building for the majority of the time I'd previously been there, and there had always been issues with air quality because that is an old building. And so, we kind of brought up to her the fact that if there are air quality issues, there are several of us that have autoimmune issues and things like that. And the lodge is also much quieter. It absorbs sound much better. So for someone that has trouble with focus and easily distracted, the lodge is a much better deal for me. And there's another girl that said the same thing. She is never very productive when we're in that other building. So our manager went to bat for us, and she got us so that we could be in the lodge, which is great. It's
Nice.
It's not nearly as heavy a concentration of people, and so hopefully there won't be that many issues. We have someone on our team who has a child that has gone through cancer and is in remission. So we all are very mindful of if she's coming in the office, if we have a sniffle, we're staying home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's too bad that can't be the mindset of everyone.
Right.
But yeah, unfortunately, it's not. It wasn't during the height of the C-19 thing.
Yeah.
And it certainly isn't now.
Yeah. So those are kind of the two major life changes for me. What about you?
Well, not much going on. Same old. Wrestling has really ramped up. Lincoln and Dylan are, they have practice. I think just about every night. They're constantly at wrestling practice, and we had a tournament match. I don't know the lingo yet, but a bunch of schools got together and wrestled last weekend, and my gosh, I could not be a prouder Nana of these kids and the way that they wrestled. I wish I could share the videos with you, but there's a lot of other people, and privacy and whatnot.
Right.
But Dylan won. They have 3 matches. It's like a round robin kind of format. So they have 3 matches. Each match has 3 1-minute periods. If they pin their opponent, it's an automatic win. If they don't get a pin, they wrestle the 3 periods, and they get points for different things. I still haven't figured out all the point things, but they get points, and then at the end of the 3 periods, whoever has the most points is the winner if there's no pin. And then if it's tied after 3 periods, they make a decision at the beginning of the tournament with the coaches and the refs and everything, how it's supposed to play out. And this last meet, the way that it was supposed to play out is if they finish their 3 periods and it was tied, then they go into sudden death, which is just 1 takedown, not a pin, but just a takedown. If you take someone down off their feet, basically, then you are the winner. So Miss Dylan had 2 pins. 2 matches, she pinned her opponent.
Nice.
And she is so incredible at getting out of a pin position. If she gets down and they get on her, she does this like alligator roll She rolls over onto her belly, and then she pushes her butt up and she gets them off of her, and she just absolutely. And then, God forbid, she gets somebody down into a pin position, because then she becomes what we call tenacious D, because she just flattens a kid. And yeah, so incredibly proud of her 2 pins. Her last match, she went the full 3 minutes, the 3 periods, and she lost by points. Lincoln had his first match, he won by points. And there were so many people from their school there. There were so many kids from their school that they had to wrestle against some of their peers, some of their own teammates, just because of the way that the brackets were set up.
Yeah.
So he won against his own teammate.
Oh my goodness.
And then his second match, he lost by point. No, he lost by pin. He got pinned in like the 3rd period. And then his last match, he was so tuckered out. And his last match, he went all 3 periods and they tied up.
Oh, wow.
The 3rd period, he got hurt. He was pinned for a long time, but he was up enough that he wasn't fully pinned. So, he didn't get counted out, but the kid had him down for a long time. And he got out of that pin and he went to his mother and he was crying. And I'm like, oh no. And she snuggled him a little bit and then pushed him over to his coach, because that's really what they have to do. They have to learn how to rely on their coach.
Yep.
So his coach gave him a little pep talk, and he went back out there.
Ah, good for him.
He won. He got the first takedown, but the ref didn't call it.
Oh.
So Mom got a little testy with the old ref and the scorekeeper. Mama turned into Nana Bear. And the match finished, or the period, the overtime period finished, and they had a conversation with the rep, and he agreed. Both coaches were like, no, this is the way it's supposed to be. Lincoln should have won. Even the opposing coach said, no, he should have won. So he gave it to Lincoln. And afterwards, Lincoln kept saying that his finger hurt. And it was starting to get swollen and a little black and blue. So went home that night, iced it, thought, he probably has a little bit of a sprain. It's very easy, especially with kids, to sprain those little pips. Yeah. So the next morning it was quite swollen and quite black and blue. So took him to urgent care, and it is a very bad sprain. So he had a splint on it. He's so excited to get the splint off tonight. But wrestled that last period with a really badly sprained finger, and he did it because he wanted to win.
Yeah. Go Lincoln.
Yeah. So long story. You can tell how gushy I am over my grandkids and their wrestling. But that's been like the highlight of the week, is we keep rewatching the videos, and so they both took home silver medals for that tournament. So that was really exciting. Yeah. Other than that, I have my car back.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And Miss Samantha, I think I have a picture here. There it is.
Okay.
She got a new car. Yeah. So I've got mine back.
Nice.
I can't remember what it is.
Oh, did she get it from Greg's? Was that Greg's I saw?
No, Searsport Automotive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we have the car back, and Samantha is riding around in new wheels. It's a Toyota RAV4.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. She completely blew up the engine in the Subaru, so I guess it's cheaper to go that way than it is to get a new motor nowadays. So that's what we did. And that's about all that's going on. I have an eye doctor's appointment next week to finally get a baseline test for my eyes done. They want to put me on a medication that will help with a lot of the fatigue and the muscle aches and things. And it can, a very small percentage of patients have this issue where it builds up a toxicity in your eyes and can make you go blind.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So they have to have a baseline test so they can track you over the next few months once you begin this medication to make sure that, my eyesight's bad enough already. I do not need that in my life.
You don't need that going on. No.
So that's happening next week. And then hopefully I can get on the medication I need to feel more like me.
Yep.
So that is about it for life in general. That was a long faff about a lot. So let's talk about events. So events. What have we had going on for events?
Yeah, I've basically got the same couple of things. Really is the only things that I had going on was the I'm losing my mouse. Knits and Pieces. They have the Knits and Pieces Knit Chat Cafe every Tuesday evening on YouTube live. And they have a make-along that they're doing until the end of March. The idea was to make a vest, give sleeves a rest. So there's the hashtag there if you'd like to join in. Anything basically that doesn't have sleeves. So vest, slip over, tank, whatever. As long as it doesn't have sleeves, it's good to go. So I'm participating in that. I am doing the, well, I'll talk about what I'm doing in it later.
Whips.
The other event that I'm doing is with the Crazy Sock Lady. She also has a YouTube channel podcast. She has a membership through that YouTube channel, and the membership has a Facebook group. So in that Facebook group, they're doing a make-along that is focusing on anything that you're making using your stash. So anything you had in your stash before January 1st of 2024, even if it's a whip, if it's something that you're working with yarn that was in your stash before 2024 started, it's just a participatory make along. So just something fun to do. And that is kind of a focus for me this year, is try whenever possible to make from my stash. Because I do have a fairly good stash and should be able to find, if not all of what I need for a project, most of what I would need for a project right in my own little yarn store. So
yep.
Those are the two events I'm participating in.
I am not participating in anything. I have been avoiding the shiny like a plague because I am hyper focused on getting these whips that have been hanging out for several years done. That's not to say I have not added some things to the library or to the queue, but nothing has gone like officially into a bag. Yes, I'm definitely going to make this kind of thing. I did participate in the Knit Happy Summit, which you sent to me, right?
Yep.
Yes, it was you. I got that from, right? Yeah.
Yep. I didn't even get to participate.
I didn't participate much. And I'll share just the website. Kind of this is the greeting page of their website if you go to the website. And it was really interesting. I was able to attend one live Q&A, and I was able to watch a couple of the presentations. Oh gosh, why can't I remember her name? Erin from Erin Designs.
Oh, yes.
She did a presentation, which was really neat. Just about like knitting your own wardrobe and how she coordinates colors and that sort of thing into her knit journey and, knitting her own wardrobe. I thought it was really, really interesting, and I got a lot out of it. And then I did attend her Q&A.
Nice.
Got a lovely pattern and a recipe for Irish soda bread, which yum.
Oh yeah.
And then I did also attend another one. I can't remember who it was from. I attended her live. I did watch most of her presentation. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but most of it. And you got I think it was a shawl pattern was her gift to her viewers. So yeah, it was fun. I wish I would have been able to do more, but it was work and weekend and it just didn't happen. They had a lot of nice prizes. There was one prize I was very interested in. It was for seasonal knitting. I can't.
The society one.
No.
Society. Oh no.
The author made the. Here, let me find. The author was the person who did the Thusa cozy that I knit recently, the hot water bottle cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Hannah Thiessen.
Oh yes.
And she had 2 autographed books they were giving away. One of the books, Seasonal Knitting, I have on my Kindle.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very interested in the other one. I didn't enter because I'm silly and didn't. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I didn't even know it was the same author. I've had that book, Seasonal Knitting, for years.
Oh wow.
And I had no idea that it was the same author as made the Thusa cozy pattern. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But that was it for my NETA Spa is this weekend, and we're not going.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not in the cards this year.
No, I'm not going to go with a cold. That's for sure.
Yeah. And
so was everybody.
Winter, I don't like to travel. I like to stay at home and stay warm.
Yep, can't blame anyone for that one.
Yeah. So that's it for me for events. Do you have any more events to discuss?
Nope, that is it for me.
Okay, then on to FOs. I have 2 FOs. How many FOs do you have, Julie?
I have one. You're it.
Okay. I'm wearing one.
Oh, it is so pretty. Oh,
I love it. I absolutely love it. I took a couple of pictures out on the deck.
Cool.
I'll share. Look at that.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly.
Yep.
So perfectly. Now, before I blocked it, I tried it on and I was like, oh, Sammy's getting a sweater.
Oh, because the sleeves were very snug.
Yeah, but after blocking.
Oh, the yarn relaxes and everything. Yep.
It really did. And I mean, they're fitted, but it's not snug.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so glad I went up a size on the sleeves. So I can't remember which size it was that I ended up doing. And I didn't write it down. But I just picked up, I think it was 70 stitches to pick up for my size, and I did 76.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. It might have been 72 and 76. I don't remember, but I know I picked up one size more, and yeah, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I did knit just a little bit longer here
on the ribbing.
So most of these, when it was like 2.5, I think, and I counted it was 22 rows here for like your colored stitches. And this one, you were supposed to go a little bit shorter so that the ribbing and this would be as long as this. And I went ahead and did the full 22 rows and then did the ribbing, because the ribbing is so, it's not a very big ribbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the neck, I was surprised it was not ribbed. It's just a regular stockinette neck.
Oh.
I was a little concerned that it would be too boat necky, but it really isn't.
Yeah.
Like
it looks good.
I mean, yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I might knit another one.
Oh my gosh.
I might. It's cozy. It's oversized but lightweight. I think this is going to be something I can wear all year round. You could wear it with long sleeves, even like a mock turtleneck or a t-shirt. I've got a tank top on underneath it right now. So, summery.
Yeah.
I might knit another one.
Wow.
I didn't use a lot of yarn. The fingering weight skeins were 100 grams each. The Farmer's Wife, which is the darkest one, the one on the end, I used 51 grams. So literally half a skein.
Half the skein, yeah.
But that's also the color that I did my gauge swatch in.
Oh, okay.
The other skeins, I used 35 grams of.
Wow.
With the exception of the one that goes to the sleeves, this top color, and the one that is the sleeves, this is all I have left.
Wow.
I used 94 grams.
Wow, you squeaked that one.
Yeah. But still, I mean, that's, one full skein, and then a half a skein, and then 3 skeins that were 35 each. So, I mean, you could, if you did my size, you could squeak this out on like 3.5 skeins.
Wow.
Of the fingering weight yarn. And I only used 36 grams of the mohair silk.
Wow.
36 grams from a 50-gram skein.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mohair in that, actually.
Yeah, there is. I might stash dive and find myself another one of these to make, because
wow,
I love it.
That's cool.
And then I have one other, but I'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. Let me grab my stitch there so I don't drop it. There we go. All right. So my FO is my Yarnable socks. January Yarnable socks.
You know what? I forgot to show.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing. It's the Lace and Fade Boxy by Hohi Loki. I don't even know if I said her name. I was just so excited to show it off.
I don't think you said the name at all.
I'm a bit smitten. I'm Twitter pated. Okay.
That's funny.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah, so this is the January colorway from Yarnable. They're just vanilla socks. I just did plain old vanilla socks because I wanted the yarn to really show. I'm not getting really great light, am I? Anyway, one is a little bit darker than the other.
It does look like it.
Yep. The way the yarn came out of the ball, one is just a little bit darker, a little more saturated than the other one. But yeah, when I do my vanilla sock, actually this is a modified of my way I've been doing my vanilla socks. So usually when I do the vanilla socks, I do the 20 rounds for the ribbing, 50 rounds for the leg, slip stitch, heel flap, gusset, and then 50 rounds for the foot. These I did the 20 with the ribbing, but I went 60 with the foot.
That's what I do.
Slip stitch, heel flap, 60 on the foot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, or I said foot up here, I guess, leg. So yeah, they're a little bit bigger. And I did the that way for a reason on these socks, because Cassie, my daughter Cassie, is very knit worthy, especially with socks. And so these, I don't know if I'll be able to keep them quiet, keep them under wraps until her birthday in May. But that was the idea, is that I would put them away for her birthday, but we'll see if I can wait that long. Because I've made her socks the same way I've been making mine with the 50 leg and the 50 foot. they fit her fine, but she does have just a slightly bigger foot than I do. So this is going to be an experiment and see if she likes this just a little bit better. I did not weigh my skein, but this is the label for Yarnable. See if I can get it up there. There we go, Yarnable. And this is a monthly subscription for this yarn. She does different ways. You can do 1 skein of fingering, 2 skeins of fingering, 1 skein of DK, 2 skeins of DK. So there's choices there. The trick with Yarnable is that it's very popular and it's not open for signups all the time. She only opens it up for signups a handful of times every year. So the best thing to do is, if you're interested, think you might want to sign up, go to yarnable.net. If it's not open for signups, go ahead and put your email address in, because that way you'll get a notification when it's open for signups. And her yarn is it's really lovely. It's a great yarn. I love the twist on it. It seems to me to be an actual fingering weight yarn. Sometimes things will say they're a fingering weight yarn and they teeter on being the light or the heavy side of the fingering. And hers seems to be pretty true to a true fingering. She has beautiful colorways. This one, January, was How Time Flies. And her base is plush sock. I think there's different bases you can get it on as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I just always get the plush sock, which is 85 superwash merino and 15% nylon and 437 yards and 100 grams. So I have not weighed this, but I think I used just over half of the skein. I'm guessing it was probably about 65 grams is what I used, but I haven't actually weighed it yet to know. So there should be enough here. I kind of want to do an experiment with, you see so many socks that the variegated yarn is the leg and the foot, and then the solids are used for your heels, toes, and cuffs. And I want to reverse that. And using this one as heels, toes, and cuffs with a solid as the leg and the foot. I just thought it was kind of nifty. And so there should definitely be enough there to do heels, toes, and cuffs on a pair.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yep. And also want to try the Eye of Partridge heel on my next socks as well. I really like the Eye of Partridge heel. It's very cushy, very sturdy. So I'm going to try that again.
Nice.
And that's my one and only FO.
One and only FO. I have one other. It's actually 4. But I'm calling it 1 because I just got a little overwhelmed with, I have this sweater going on. I have 2 other sweaters that I have, there's so much going on. I just needed a little bit of a palette cleanse. And that's what really helped motivate me to get this done, is just having that little cleanse. So 1 day a week, I am making dishcloths again.
There you go.
It's just something quick. It's easy. I can usually get 2 dishcloths done in an evening. So I did a few, and I did them Halloween. Yeah. Valentine's themed.
Oh, with the heart. Cute.
Yeah. So let me see. This one is Heart Square by Daisy Storm. And the yarn is a Knit Picks. It's Knit Picks Dishy. The colorway is pomegranate. Oh, I can't get my thing to stay open.
Is that pattern a Ravelry pattern?
It is, and it's a free Ravelry pattern.
Oh,
yes. And then my other one here, I did just a plain garter stitch, and I used a pattern that Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady shared in her video last year, because she does dishcloths too, and it was on her project page. So I stole shamelessly, and that website is where you can find the pattern. And then I did 2 more. This one is called Interlocking Heart Square.
Oh, cute.
And this one is in Knit Picks Dishy Multi in the colorway Dream House. And I love the way it just happened to pool like half and half.
Yeah.
It just happened to do it that way. It turned out so neat. And then I also did a plain one with that one as well. This designer, Daisy and Storm, has a ton of free dishcloth patterns. There was another maker that I'd actually purchased a collection of winter dishcloths from them a couple of years ago. And I went back because I tend to be designer loyal. Like if I find somebody that I'm willing to pay for a pattern, I'll bookmark them and I'll go back and find other and none of their patterns are on Ravelry anymore. So
the Daisy and Storm?
No, the other designer. So I kind of went out and looked for another designer, and this Daisy and Storm, they have a ton of, most of them are like this. They're like squares with something in the middle, some kind of design in the middle. But they're almost all free. So yeah, really great resource for dishcloth patterns.
And is it knit and crochet or just knit?
I'm pretty sure it was just knit. I could be wrong. So that is all of my FOs. Any more FOs for you, Jules? You said you're done?
That's me.
Okay, so on to whips. All right. What have you got for whips, Jules? How many?
I really only have 2 and really only 1 that's seeing action.
Okay. I have 4, but I have only 3 that are seeing action.
All right, you go.
Okay. Well, actually, no, now that I think about it, I only have really 2 that are seeing action because one is a little bit of a catastrophe.
Uh-oh.
These are Kayla's Tricerasocks.
Yeah.
So this is the done one. So the idea of this sock is that it is a Triceratops. This is like his foil, and he's eating your leg, and his feet, we have a couple of feet that would go on either side here. This is the second sock. And I'm about halfway through the toe decreases, and I've run out of yarn.
No!
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Didn't you already have to order another one?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
It was something else I was thinking that you did.
And I got this yarn in Greenville.
Greenville, yeah.
I mean, it's Barocco Remix Light. So it should be fairly, and it's a colorway Fern, which I've been able to find at tons of other sites. Like I could get it, but I don't know how the dye lot is going to look. So I'm a little concerned about changing up dye lots at this point where I've got this whole sock done, and I've got all of the little legs done for that sock.
Aha! You haven't attached your legs though.
I haven't, and that's
there you go.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out the legs. I'm going to finish my toe, and I'm going to finish the ruffle because this one doesn't have the ruffle. And then if I have to get another skein of yarn, only the legs on both socks. The legs will be different, but they'll be different on both socks. So at least the socks will be cohesive.
Yep. And I'd be surprised if there's going to be much of a difference.
I doubt there's going to be much of a difference either, but I'm not going to get up to Greenville until June or July camping again.
Well, and what's the chances? I mean, it's been almost a year. What's the chances she'd even have the same dye lot there either?
Exactly.
You can always give her a call and ask her, but
I could. And I'm also a terrible cheapskate, and I don't like to pay for shipping, and I cannot justify buying enough to avoid shipping right now. So I'm going to rip out the legs. I'm going to finish the toe, finish the foil, and then I will get another skein for his feet.
Yep.
So he's a little bit timed out, along with the Seaglass sweater.
Yeah.
They're both a little timed out.
Yep.
So those are my not knitting on right now whips. What do you got for not knitting on right now whips?
Not knitting on right now whips. That would be my Advent blanket. It literally saw a handful of stitches. I picked it up, started knitting on it, got interrupted, and that's all that one saw. I'm not even showing it because it's not even enough to show any progress.
It's all it takes is one little interruption.
Yep. And literally my knitting time has been spurts and fits. It's just not been a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the other ones that I have active knitting on is the baseball sweater. Oh, you know what? I'm forgetting banners here. There's the Triceratops by Emma Bermudez. Cute socks. You should really go check them out on Ravelry. They're totally cute. Baseball by Caryn Lantz. This is a sweater that I am knitting in the school colors of my grandkids' wrestling team. And I did get the entire back piece done. So this is the back. It's nice. Long and blowing out all over the place. And then I've got this done of the front.
Cool.
I pretty much on this just at the wrestling meets because it's just stockinette back and forth. It's pretty easy. When I get to the decreases for the raglan arms, I do those at home. So if I can get that front piece done, then the arms are going to be this color. So
see you coming through the door for sure.
I know. No doubt which side of the wrestling mat I'll be sitting on for sure.
Exactly.
So that is that one. What do you have for other whips, Jules? I've got one more after that, but I'll let you go.
Okay. So the only other one I have is one that I'm now trying to fix it. I made a boo-boo.
Oh, you tink.
Well, I'm laddering back as I go because
yeah,
it's a fiddly part that I don't want to take out completely because it's easy enough. I can just ladder down. I can fix it. It's the Riptide shawl. So I'm going to pop stoppers on here real quick because
the Riptide vest.
Riptide slip over. Oh, yeah.
I'll get your banner.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So actually, this does have progress. This has pretty significant progress. I knit on it through the entire Knits and Pieces Knit Chat Cafe, and I really did make some progress. So last time I showed, I had this back done down to this little marker. So that's what I had done. It was almost to where I am on my needles here. But I also have all of that of the front done.
Nice.
I've split and I've started just the round and round.
Yay!
Yeah, and I'm really liking it. The way that the shoulders are put together, and I can't remember. I think it might have been a 3-needle bind off. I can't remember now. But look how, let's see if I can get it up there. Look how neat that is.
Oh, wow.
I like it. When you're really up close, it almost looks like the stitches just flow right through each other. So I like that. I have to say it was a little bit of a brain twister for me for a little bit when it came to, where was it? So this flows where your armhole is. This flows right down off of that edging of the armhole, right down into this broken rib. My lighting's horrible. I'm sorry. I'll have to fix that next time. It flows right down into the, I can't get myself positioned right.
There's like a panel down the side of
Yes, of broken
vest.
rib. Yep. And it flows right into that. Maybe you can see it there now. But when you come around, for the majority of the round that you're going around, you're doing that section the same. But your beginning of row marker is like right in the middle. Or, well, no, at the last like quarter of one of those side panels. And that little section right there, you change. You do it different because that's your beginning of round. So you end up doing what you start at your beginning of the round, you do it all the way around until that beginning of the round. But because that beginning of the round isn't all the way through that side piece, I have to really try to watch myself and remember that, okay, beginning of the row marker is what matters, not where you are in the side panel. Just remember where you are with that beginning of the row marker. So yeah, it took my brain a little bit to wrap itself around that. But now I'm just moving right along. The actual stitch pattern here is so great. I love it.
It's so pretty.
Cannot wait till it's blocked out. I think it's just going to be so pretty.
Yeah.
And of course, this is with the, oh, and I didn't do a banner, darn. This is with the Nomad yarn, the Marshmallow DK Select yarn. I have not tried it on yet. I am just a tiny bit concerned. It looks small when I hold it up.
They always do.
Yeah, it's gonna bloom. It's gonna be fine. And even the opening here, I think we do go around with something. I can't remember exactly how much or what it is, but you know, that looks a little small to me too, but I'm gonna trust the process. I'm gonna block it and it will be fine. I'd rather have it, I think, a little bit on the small side right now, excuse me, than the big side, because a lot of my knits that I've knit now since I've lost like 50 pounds, they're really baggy.
Yeah. And you know, I always tend to think that I'm bigger than I really am, and all my knits end up being bigger, which is why my daughter ends up with all of my sweaters, because she's blessed and I'm not. But with this, I thought this was going to be so small, and I'm like, I'm going to have to block the crap out. I'm going to have to like stretch this thing when I block it. And once it got wet, it like got a little bit bigger, and I put it out. I didn't pin block it. I just like, you know, laid it out and rough blocked it. And before I got the measuring tape or anything out, I just kind of blocked it out on the floor. And then when I took the measuring tape, it was exactly the measurements that it said in the schematics. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust Hohi. She knows. And I blocked it specifically to her schematics, and it fits perfect. So trust the designer.
Yeah. Especially when it's a prolific designer, you know, a well-known, prolific, you know, well-reviewed designer.
Yes.
Just trust the process.
Yep. And I always, all right, I'm, you know, my circumference is this, but I'll go up a size because I don't want it to be too tight. And I always end up something big and baggy and oversized. And this one I said, I'm going to trust. She says that this is my size. I'm going to go with it. And darn if they aren't right every time. I think it's going to be perfect, Julie. I love it. It's so pretty.
It's going to be very versatile. I wanted something, just a neutral that I can pop over anything. So,
and that Nomad DK sucks up dye like a yarn, like a dream. So if you get sick and tired of the color, just pop it in a dye pot.
I might just knit another one and do that.
There you go.
Yep. So yeah, that's really my only active whip. I want to have this done. That make along goes till the end of March. So I would really like to have this done within the next 2 weeks, but as long as I can get it done by the end of of March. That's really what I'm shooting for.
Mhm.
Because I want to get your Advent blanket done. At the latest, I'd like to have it done in like June, no later than the end of June. So then I can make up my mind. Do I want to go ahead and try to put it out there as a pattern? So that is the other big goal. I have my temperature blanket, which has seen 0 this last round, but it's one of the next priorities because Kinsley's birthday is the first week of May, so that's also got to get chugging along. Yep, that's the next big ones.
I have a couple charity knits that they're crochet projects, but a couple of charity blankets that I work on a little bit here and there. Nothing significant. I try to take Sundays as like my charity crochet day, but that doesn't always happen, especially with wrestling going on. The only other one that I have going on right now is I did start my Advent socks.
Oh, there you go.
These are the socks from A Yarn to Die For design. Let me see if I can find.
Want me to look?
Nope, I don't have a banner. Nope, I don't
Okay.
have a banner. They're just vanilla. They're just vanilla socks. I am doing them toe up because I want to do all the colors. So I'm counting. I have my little light bulb stitch markers there. I'm counting my 60. So once I get to 60, I'll start doing a heel. I'm going to have to look up how to do a heel toe up because I don't remember. It's been so long since I did a toe up pair of socks. And then I'm just going to knit the leg until all my Advents are gone. I'm literally knitting every single bit of each yarn. These are leftovers. I did, I don't have it here. I did the Quest wrap for Advent that year. This was 2002. And these are just the little puffs of leftovers. I left them all in their little packages. So like literally just little tiny puffs of yarn left. And I'm finding I'm getting between 8 and 9 rows out of them, and I'm doing them at the same time.
No, there you go. Yep.
So
are you going to do them? Are you going to do an afterthought heel? Or you want the heel to be striped too?
Yeah, I want to do a regular heel flap and gusset. I thought about doing like a fish lips kiss heel, but I don't like the way that feels on my heel. I like a real heel flap and gusset, and I know there's a way to do it toe up. I've got a toe up book that I can refer to do it. It's not something that I do very often, so I don't remember it off the top of my head. I can knit a plain vanilla sock without any pattern at all.
Yeah.
Leg down, cuff down, but I can't quite do it toe up yet.
I haven't done a toe up. I only think I've done toe up once, and I wasn't a fan, so
yeah,
I didn't do it again.
I did the Bear Claw socks by Andrea Mowry. Those are toe up, and then I've done a couple vanilla toe up, but I refer to this toe up book that I have. It's a 2 at a time toe up book, toe up socks book, but I just use the same.
Just do them in tandem.
Process and tandem, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only other whip that I have going on at the moment. I can't wait to get them done because I need socks so bad. So next is future projects. I'm not going to put the little.
We have nothing to introduce.
I really don't. I mean, I do have a couple that I've talked about our last episode, the Sunset Diamond, a crochet shawl by Expression. It was one of the free Friday patterns from Expression Fiber Arts. And then a Flashpoint hat. It's a brioche hat. I think I did actually do banners for those, but yeah, Sunset Diamond is by Wardah. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. But it's a beautiful shawl that is crocheted and it's like a gradient. That's very next on the list when these Advents are done. And then Flashpoint by Knitting Apprentice is a brioche hat that I'm going to use some hand spun to do, just kind of to practice brioche. I'd like to do, it's like I think it's like I can't even remember what color the yarn is. I think it's like a blue and like a copper or like a coral color. And I want to do it like with the blue as the main color, kind of the forward color. And then I want to do it the opposite way with the corally color as the forward color, and just kind of, I think I have enough to do 2 hats. So
cool.
Practice my brioche. You're welcome to join me, Jules.
Nope.
I thought about you at the Knit Happy Summit. There was a brioche class.
Yeah.
I was gonna message you and be like, "You watching the class, Jules?"
Yeah. It's not like I don't think I can do it. I just don't have any desire to do it.
It's honestly very fun. Like, you really like the fisherman's rib, right?
Yes, and that's why I don't really care about the brioche. I would just
very
assume
similar.
I know,
It's very similar.
It's just something extra I don't need to take the time to learn.
You always need to take the time to learn.
But I can put that time into other things I already want to do.
Something you want to learn.
Exactly.
Let's see. Next is spinning.
It's the Judith show.
I don't have anything. I haven't finished any spinning. I am actively working on the January box from where are they? Maine Fiber Workshop. I get a monthly fiber box, and I'm actively working on this one. This is Punta Arenas. This is the fiber. It's super puffy, fluffy. Here's my spun samples. This one's a 3-ply chain ply, and this one was woolen spun, and then this one is a 2-ply worsted spun. So I am working on it. I'm doing something a little different with this. Punta Arenas is not an actual sheep breed.
Oh.
It comes from Chile, and it comes from the port Punta Arenas in Chile. It's kind of like right along the peninsula, and it's actually Spanish for sandy point. Yeah, I thought that was funny because like, we have a sandy point here. So most of the sheep that come out of this port are a Corriedale or a Corriedale cross. So not really, you never really know exactly what the sheep is. It can be Corriedale cross. Sometimes it's crossed with, I think they called it it's like a German whitehead mountain sheep, something like that. So yeah, I'm spinning it like I would a Corriedale, but I want to experiment a little bit with it because I have spun Corriedale so much. I'm spinning one right from the top, just a worsted spun. And then the other one, I wanted to spin woolen, but I didn't want to have to do from the fold because that's just taking a lot of, you pull little splits off and it's just a lot of work. So what do? I pull out my blending board because that's not work.
Rolex?
And I threw it all on the blending board and I rolled off these big, there's 3 of them. I weighed it out so there was 3 equal amounts, and I'm doing it as a big roll lag, and I don't know if I'm ruining some beautiful fiber, but I've done one spool already.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to do 3 spools, 3 bobbins, and then ply it together as a traditional 3-ply. I'm not great at chain plying, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then the other one will be a 2-ply worsted spun. I just kind of want to play a little bit because it's a fiber if it's Corriedale, I'm pretty familiar with it.
Pretty familiar, yeah.
Playing.
So when you put your fiber on the blending board, that isn't worsted prep?
No, because it's, if you think about it, I'm putting it on the blending board. It's all it's all lined up like it's
Right.
worsted, but then I'm rolling it off with
Uh-huh.
the dowels,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm spinning it from the end. So, you have your rolag like this, and you're spinning from the end. So you're pulling those fibers are all rolled up like this. You're pulling them
Okay.
off like that, so it's going to
You're
come
not
out.
pulling them off straight. You're pulling them off kind of in a spiral.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of twisty swirly up. You do get bits like a lot of times I noticed that after the core is kind of spun out and I'm only getting what's on the outside of that rolag, they tend to line up a little bit. But it's not true worsted. You might call it semi-woolen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to do it long draw. I'm not great at long draw either. So that I get a little bit more of a woolen prep, a woolen spin out of it. It's more woolen prep than it is woolen spun, I guess.
So that's where they get that semi-woolen terminology.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I act like I know a lot about spinning, but I really don't.
You just need drum carder.
I do. I really do. I love it. Because the blending board, the thumbs, oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to take like a week break for my thumbs to heal after I do a blending board session. Yeah, so that's it on my spinning. Not much. Stash enhancements.
I was a good girl.
Me too. I have absolutely nothing new that came into my life.
Nope.
Other than wrestling gear. I got some wrestling pants for the kids, but that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even say that I got a notion. I mean,
nope.
I was a good girl.
Yep. Now, look.
If what? I can't.
Like looking.
Oh, there we go. Your volume was cutting out there for a second.
Sorry. I was looking. I was on the line. I was putting stuff in the cart, and I was looking. Low body care. My Highlander is getting really thin.
Oh boy.
And I'm gonna have to have some more of that Jamie in my life. And I'm gonna do that. I'll get the refill for the to-go tin that I always use. But I would like to get some of the little ones because there's some there's some scents that I really want to try of hers. There's a Mr. Darcy. There is a lilac one. There's a few scents that I'd like to try, but I don't want to commit to the great big bar until I try them. So I get those little ditty bars. So yeah, that might have to happen.
Yeah, there were some people that were sending out emails, and boy, I definitely went and looked, and I just went. I mean, it was like you say, it was in my cart.
Yeah,
and I backed out.
the email box, I have to do a lot of this, like
just don't even open it.
Sorry, Woolery. Sorry. Nope. I just can't.
Yep. You can send another one later, but right now, nope, I can't.
Yep. Yep. That is it. Reviews and recommendations. So what do you have for reviews and recommendations, Jules?
Well, the first one I have is because she was on the Knits and Pieces Knit Chat Cafe this last time, Beth McDonald Stone. She has a podcast called Knitwear Designs from the Rock on YouTube, and she's a knitwear designer who lives in Bermuda. She's very, very smart. She gets all of the knitting maths and does all the work for us.
Bless her.
Yes. So if you get a chance, check out her live chat. Well, it was live on Tuesday night, but Knit Chat Cafe on YouTube. The last Tuesday episode, she was on there, and she has just got such an eye. She's previous life was interior designer, so she has got that already sense of creativity and color sense and things that go together and work well and all that. She's already got that ingrained. And she translates it into knitwear designs so well. She just started doing podcasting not too long ago. I was going to take a peek here. Her last episode came out yesterday, actually, and that was her episode 8. So if you want to go over and check her out, you don't have to catch up too far to be right up to date with her. She does a great job with those podcasts of giving you all the background, and she gives you the inside on her upcoming designs. She shows her samples. She talks about what's coming. She doesn't hold anything back. And I love that because I really like to know what spurred this on, what struck your fancy to go this direction, or, what was the inspiration behind this.
The whole creative process is pretty cool to see.
Yeah. She even talked about, I don't think just in this last episode, I think she did once before in one of the previous episodes, about a design she had that was, can't remember if it was something Spanish moss. Can't remember. I think it was the Spanish moss cardigan. I'm not 100% sure. But it was a design that she had done early on, put the pattern out there, and she wasn't happy with it. She pulled it off. She's pulled it down and she's revamping it. And so she talks a little bit about why, what didn't she like about it? Why did she take it down rather than just do another one that is what she wants it to be, kind of thing. So she's very transparent with her designing and why she does her patterns the way she does and everything. So I think that is really good. But the clincher for me with her podcasts is she lives in Bermuda. And she shares that every episode. She shares something about Bermuda, whether it's a little tidbit of information about Bermuda, or most of the time it's a little stroll. She'll give you some little walk on the paths and some scenery, some insight into the life there in Bermuda. And I love it because it reminds me so much of Fiji, and that whole vibe just puts me right at ease. So I would highly recommend checking out her podcast, checking out her patterns. You can find her on Ravelry, Beth McDonald Stone. She has a pattern that just came out this last episode. She talks about it. It's called the Bermy Basic, Bermy. And she is going about this pattern in such a neat way. She is releasing the pattern in pattern different. Each pattern is different for the gauge. So I think the ones that she just released was 24 gauge and 18 gauge. So it's like DK and Aaron or something like that. It's a very basic sweater pattern, but it's all about the gauge that these are knitting up to. I cannot describe it. You got to watch her podcast because she talks about why she's doing this way and everything. And it's just going to be right from the real fine gauge to the very bulky gauge. There's going to be a pattern for this very basic sweater in every one of those gauges.
So she's going to do all the thinking for you. You just need to pick your gauge, pick what yarn you're going to. That's cool. That's nice.
It's really cool. So yeah, that's one recommendation. The other one I have, and I could not remember her podcast name, so I'm looking it up real quick. It's Summer Lee, and her podcast is Summer Lee Design Co. I think that's just the name of the podcast, if I'm looking at it right here. Oh gosh, sorry. I'm trying to get past the doggone ad, so that you can. Okay, here we go. There we go. Yes, so it's Summer Lee Design Co. If you want to look it up on YouTube. I did not do a banner. I did for, look at that. I did for Beth and I did not for Summer Lee. There we go. Knitwear Designs from the Rock is Beth McDonald Stone. Summerlee, I did not do the banner, bad girl, but it's just Summerlee Design Co. on YouTube. She's Summerlee Designs on Ravelry as well. And she is all about socks and all about the very colorful socks. And she just came out with a book. I think it came out on the 13th. It is called The Sock Project, I believe. What's the name of the book? Just looking to see if I can make sure I did not get that wrong. Yeah. Don't see it, but I'm pretty sure it's called The Sock Project. It's hard to get the book now. It's sold out on Amazon. It's sold out just about everywhere. But she really has great ideas. And her podcast is really fun. She is a very personable, down-to-earth, honest person. This is her first book that she's published. And one of her episodes is like complete transparency about that process. How did that come to be? You know, what exactly happened? What happens when you start to work with a publisher? What does that whole process look? What's the timeline? She doesn't give you the dollar amount specific of what she was given for an advance, but she gets a range there for you and explains that she's passed up an offer previously. Why did she pass that one up and take this one? That was a very, very cool episode. So I would highly recommend taking a look at that. She's a really cool person.
Cool. I have a couple recommendations. They're kind of like guilty pleasure recommendations.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. The first is someone on YouTube called Swoop. She has two channels. There's Swoop and Swoop 2, Too. And it's really a guilty pleasure. She's a documentary filmmaker. So she does these documentary films all about basically when people in social media, when social influencers screw up, and like the rise and the fall, and like she does a lot of different documentaries. She did one on Gypsy Rose. Just Gypsy Rose recently released from prison. She was accused. She went to prison for killing her mother. She didn't actually kill her mother, but she allegedly convinced her boyfriend to do so after years of abuse by her mother, pretending her daughter was basically Munchausen by proxy. So yeah, it was just like she does a lot of interesting, in-depth, deep dive documentaries on things like that. And it's just kind of interesting to see her investigative style, and she doesn't hold back. Like she has this way about her. Like she calls it petty university. She goes to petty university and she just gets her petty on and she wears it like a blanket. She loves it. and I just find her very, very entertaining. So she's got two channels. The Swoop is kind of the deep dive. Some of them are very long documentary style deep dive episodes. And then Swoop 2 is kind of a little shorter. She calls it dipping your toe into the cesspool. So yeah, she's just very entertaining and it's a very like guilty pleasure listen. It's kind of a fun and interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm a sucker for documentaries. I'm a nerd when it comes to documentaries. So my second recommendation is another documentary. You got to put the emphasis on the right syllable. This one is called Lost Treasures of Rome. It's on Disney Plus, and it is a series of archaeological digs in Rome, finding different, like the lost, Nero's lost, what do they call it? Cumularius or something like that. It's basically his big palace There's not much left of it except the foundations, but they kind of unearth. It's nerd stuff. When I was a kid, Julie, you probably remember, Graham always had these magazines in the bathroom that were biblical, archaeological magazines.
Oh, yeah. Something archaeological review.
Yeah, it was all like, I can't word tonight. It's all archaeology in like Jerusalem and Israel and around like biblical locations and biblical type history. And I always loved it. I always found archaeology really, really cool. And if I wasn't such an indoor girl, I could have been an archaeologist. And I would have loved it. But Lost Treasures of Rome is a really neat series on like all that nerdy, dirty stuff.
Cool.
The only other thing that I have for recommendation is a couple of apps I have recently started to play with. One is called Water Llama. Water Llama is a way for you to track your water intake, and it takes into consideration if it's a cup of coffee, it might only be 85%. So if you have an 8-ounce coffee, it's only 85% of your actual water. So it takes that into consideration. The free version will only track water. You do have to pay for being able to track your other things, and there's a lot of other premium style options. But the cool thing about Water Llama is you can pay monthly, or you can do like one lifetime unlock, and it's like $9 to unlock it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And then Fastic is one that I just recently found, and it is, and I put this up here so you can see like the right icon, because, you know, sometimes you put something in Apple Store and you get 72 different icons. Fastic is something that I just found today. It was actually a recommendation by Swoop. And it like helps you track fasting, like, to help you lose weight safely by fasting a responsible and obviously you don't want to fast without talking to your doctor first, but I have fasted before with a different app, and this one looked like it was pretty neat. It has a widget that comes right up on your phone. I'll show it to you. So there it is on my phone. It's counting down live when my next fasting will begin. So I have used fasting apps before. That one, the free version is very, very basic. I haven't paid anything yet. I'm still trying out the free version, so I'll let you know what I think next time we get together. But I like that it has the live widget on my front screen, so I know exactly when, like, I need to. Oh, I've only got 20 minutes. I better get that bag of popcorn in, you know? Yeah, so that's it for my reviews and recommendations.
Cool.
What else we got?
I think that's it.
Is that it?
I think so.
That is it. Look at us go. Just over an hour.
And we thought we could cut it in half.
It's almost in half.
Yeah, true.
Upload a lot easier than last one did.
Yeah.
All right. So until next time, Julie, where can we find you on social media?
I am most active on Instagram, probably, at jules.makes. Also, Jules Larrabee on Ravelry. That's probably the best places to find me.
And I am Nana's House 15 on Ravelry and Nana's_House 15 on Instagram. And those are also about the only places I'm very active on social media. Of course, you can comment below. We would love to hear from you. Give us feedback on how this is all working out and tell us what you're working on. And yeah. So I guess that's it. So until next time, stay nutty
and keep
knitting.